Right, here we are in the gatehouse, and we have a plan to try and get the Eye of Traldar from this central part here. Some things first. We looted the soldiers that we killed in the courtyard, and we found on them a couple of notes. And we've constantly talked about how the guards are pretty useless, and these notes confirm that. Here's one. It's addressed to somebody called Malinet. He's now dead. If there has been trouble down in the dungeons, just cover it up. Don't send anyone down there into an ambush. The Baron isn't here, and we've got to just buy time to figure out what to do. Maybe we can blame it on Tiberian not giving enough reinforcements. But at this stage, just cover everything up. That's an order. Lieutenant Garrett. Garrett was the guy we killed to get the seal. Here's another handout to Malinet. Apparently there may be some intruders someplace in the fortress or keep trying to get in and cause some mischief. I hardly need tell you that we don't want anything like this happening here. The fools down in the dungeons are quite expendable, and if these intruders cause any mischief down there, don't send anyone down into an ambush. We don't want to waste our people down there. Just to keep everything quiet, and if there's trouble, cover everything up while I think about what to do with it. Right, so that does tell you how this keep operates. And we did actually find a note on Lieutenant Garrett's body. During the absence of our glorious leader, you had better not mess up as you did last time when that purple worm burrowed through the caverns. Another mistake like that and you will find yourself lacking ahead. Maintain order at all times and don't come running to me if you aren't able to handle any difficulties like you did last time. I'm busy organising the next phase for the Baron. I am not to be disturbed. And that's Captain Tiberian. Now we have a name there. We don't know who Tiberian is, but he's been mentioned twice. And I don't really blame Captain Garrett for wanting to cover up a mistake, since he will be threatened with losing his head. The second thing which happened, of not much significance, was that prior to the fight here, when we were taking over the keep, Liz actually got hit by an arrow in the arm. That was the first time she had ever been hit. But she hasn't actually seen Malin yet. And when everybody gathers back in the gatehouse, Malin sees blood trickling down her sleeve, and he's like aghast, what's this? And Liz puts on quite a melodramatic show of bravery, saying things like, oh, it doesn't matter, don't worry about me, I'll be okay. Which, as we all know, is done so people do worry about you. So this winds Donard up. So he goes over to Liz and says, listen, I might be able to help you. Let me look at your arm, roll up your sleeve. And Liz is all, oh, it's really nothing, don't worry about me. And Donard rolls up Liz's sleeve, looks at her cut and says, yeah, it really is nothing, and walks off. And that kind of miffs Liz. So right, with that little background out of the way, we're going to walk across here, the courtyard, to the central keep, and we're going to bring everybody with us. We're not going to do any more skulking around. We're going to go over in force. We have nothing to lose. What happens then? Well, here is the gatehouse. Right, I've chosen people to move forward and get ready for action. I've got Maradin knocking at the door because he's the one with the high charisma. And this hatch in the door opens and this guy asks, who is it? And Maradin says, we're here to collect something. The guy behind the door says, what are you here to collect? And Maradin says, we don't know, it's for Captain Tiberian. And that's a reaction roll of 7 plus Maradin's 1 bonus is uncertain. So the guard asks, who sent you? Knowing people here operate in a state of fear, so Maradin just says, just open up or I'll tell everybody that you're being an asshole. And that's 8. That's still negotiate, roll again. And so he says back through the door, well, why don't I just tell the captain that you're being an asshole? 6. That says he leaves, but Maradin bangs on the door, so he comes back. Right, this isn't going well. It's drawn the attention of the guy in this room here. There's something at the door. We can hear a conversation between the two, and it seems to be that this guy here says, just open it up. This guard opens up the door and we're going to have Alexei, Donard, Big Tibor and Ben take the lead. Now, it's obvious that something is wrong here, because if we're here to collect something like a letter, it doesn't take 4 people to collect a letter and barge in. So let's see what this guy's reaction roll is. Oh, he's much friendlier now. 12, he's friendly. Now that is unlikely. No, it's 11 because Maradin isn't there. Possibly friendly. So his reaction is, okay, it's a lot of you to collect one thing. And Donard, who has no patience whatsoever for idiots, says, yeah, it's a really heavy thing. And he's the one doing negotiations. And Donard gets like a -3 penalty, and that's a 6. So the guy looks at him and says, right, something's not right here. And yeah. A 4 with Donard's low reaction rolls is immediately attack. The fight is on. Who gets initiative? He does. Right. Let's see. He draws a sword and he misses Donard. Right. Tybor's there. Alexi's there. Ben's there. Argo. Big Tybor. Hits. Takes that guy in one shot. He was being difficult. Right. But this has alerted the person in this room here, who is now very wary and cautious. We don't know anything about this, but we have faced with 3 doors. Let's roll for that one, and that one. 1 to 2, 3 to 4, 5 to 6. And it's this one, and Ben opens it, and there's 3 undead skeletons in there, and they're doing nothing. Okay. Let's try this one or this one. 1 to 3, 4 to 6. And Alexei opens that door, and there are 3 skeletons in there, and they aren't doing anything. Donard whistles for the rest to come in. So we've got Maradin and Sylvia, who tend to be good on missiles, and Liz. We've got Imran and Thaddeus there, and we've got Malin at the back, still outside. We've got this door to open, so we open it, and we see this cleric here, and this cleric looks like this illustration here. There he is, lounging on the chaise lounge, leaning on skeletons and looking not the best drawn of characters, but I unfortunately know somebody who looks like that. That is true 1990s artwork. Love it. Right, now what's his reaction to us? Remember, it's Donard who's in the door. 9 minus Donard's 3 is a 6. Possibly uncertain roll again. So he says, what are you doing here? And Donard replies, we're here to collect something. Right, that is a 6 minus 3. That's attack, you know. He was going to ask, why is Donard wearing the captain's armour? But there's no need for that. It's attack. Now let's roll for initiative. And he gets initiative. Now the first thing he's going to do is he's going to activate his undead guards. And 2 of them come marching forward and they attack. There's only room for 1 to come out of the doorway. So we have got 1 on Alexei and 1 on Ben. We'll do the one on Ben, and that's a miss. We'll do the one on Alexei, and that's another miss. This cleric, he's had his go. Activating the undead was his go. It's our go. It's a bit tight for missile play. Perhaps Maradin can get a shot in on this one. And he does, and he takes 2 damage off that. They all have 4 HP. Ben is going to try and cleave that one. And he throws it 7 plus 3 is 10. That fails. Thaddeus is going to try and get in on that one. And he misses. Right. Alexei and Donard are just going to move up to take on this cleric. Let's see what Alexei can do. Oh, he misses badly. Let's see what Donard can do. And he misses badly. Tybor's going to take on this skeleton. Whoops. And that's 10. That's a miss. What a round of misses. Round 2. And we get initiative. Right. Let's start at the top. Let's do Donard. 16 plus 1 is 17. Hits AC 2. He has AC 2. 4 plus 1 is 5 damage. He's from 11 to 6. Right. Alexei. He misses. Tybor. Hits. Yes. Max hit. Max damage. What a Chad. And that skeleton is out of it. Ben on this one. And that is a roll of 15 and 8 damage when you take its bonuses into account. And that skeleton is out of it. Okay, there's not much anybody else can really do unless Thaddeus runs into that room. But he doesn't. Imran can go there. Okay, there round. Now this cleric is going to cast a light spell reversed into Donard's eyes. Can Donard make a saving throw? And he fails. So he's blinded for 12 turns, which is 2 hours. Right, can this skeleton hit Ben? Nope. Can this skeleton hit Tybor? Nope. These other skeletons move up. Next round. And they have initiative. Right, the cleric's going to cast his second light spell into the eyes of Alexei. And Alexei saves. Ha, screw you. Right. This skeleton is on Ben. And it does 3 damage. This skeleton is on Tybor. And it misses. Argo. Donar is blind, but you can't fight. You get a -4 penalties. Can he throw a natural 20? No, he can't. Can Alexei hit this guy? He can't. Can Ben hit the skeleton? 9 plus 3 is 12. He can, that's AC 7. And he takes out that one. Can Tybor kill this one? 9 plus 3 is 12 again. And 6 plus 2 is 8. Yes, he decimates that one. Tybor doesn't kill things, he decimates them. Thaddeus is going to go in to take on this one. Whoops. And he succeeds. And Imran is going to take on this one. And he fails too. Right. Next round. And their initiative. Right. This cleric is going to hit Donard. Well, he fails to hit Donard. This skeleton's going to go in for Imran. And he fails to hit Imran. Right. Argo. Alexei calls for backup. And of course backup means the big guy. Let's see if Donard can hit this. No, he fails. Let's see if Alexei can hit him. And he does. And he kills him. Let's see if Imran can kill this skeleton. And he fails. Ben comes in. Let's see if Ben can kill it. And he fails. and the skeleton goes first. Wow. Holy moly. And that's Imran down to 1 HP. And Ben kills it. Right, that fight is over. We're going to clean up this floor and come back in a moment. Right, we loot the Cleric's chamber. We're looking for information more than treasure. But Liz, of course, can't help herself, and she takes the treasure. The Cleric's wearing some fine chainmail, and we have associated that with chainmail +1 because we've found several copies of it. While Liz is stripping the jewellery off him, Tybor and Alexei are taking the chainmail off the Cleric. We find a chest under his desk, and it's got a scroll on it with a Cure Light Wound spell. Donard can't read it because he's blind. We take the chainmail off the Cleric, and it looks about the right size to fit Imran. So it's decided that Imran should get the chainmail. When Alexei hands it to him, Imran looks ashen. He doesn't look at all well, and there's blood running from his side. He staggers into this room, and in front of everybody he keels over dead. Imran didn't survive that blow from the skeleton, and everybody's shocked and stunned, especially the young ones, Liz and Malin. They haven't seen this before, and all of a sudden it's become quite real. Maradin, Thaddeus and Tybor shared a cell with this guy for some time. They're quite cut up about it, especially Tybor. He hangs his head low and says a small word of farewell. May the thunder of horses' hooves fly you on their wings. And Thaddeus just takes his helmet off and says, Amen to that, my brother. Amen. And that's Imran dead. Right. We have to think of what we have to do next. Right. After a brief break, Imran was moved and laid on the couch in the Cleric's room. There's nothing that can be done for him. As you can see, he has gone to the great Scrabble bag in the sky. Before he went, Maradin went through his pockets. This kind of appalled Liz, even though that's the kind of thing she would do. But Maradin reminded her that he had a wife and kids, and they might want something. And sure enough, he found a locket around his neck with the name of Imran and Talia on it. Maradin pocketed that and said, well, somebody has to tell her. Everyone at this stage is really had enough of this iron ring and these slavers, and even Maradin with his charisma of 17 is saying no more Mr. Nice Guy, and they feel they just want to barge in here and just kill everybody. Alexei here has to remind people that there are some people here who are slaves. Not everybody is on side with the iron ring, which is always a good reminder. But the days of sort of like knocking on doors and asking who's there and can we come in are over. So the only thing we can do is go up to the next floor of this central keep, and that's what we'll do. And it looks like this. And we have a party of 9 people all piling up into this staircase here. I have got something to say about this. When I review this module at the end, and hopefully we're coming near the end, I will discuss my thoughts, especially in this end game part that we've entered. Right, we walk into this room here, and usual people first, and it's empty. There's a desk with papers on it, lots of quills, lots of parchment. Somebody here is clearly an administrator, and it's all upended. They have fled, and I'm not surprised they've fled because it seems unlikely, considering all the action downstairs, they would still be sitting at their desk working. We go through the papers and we find a lot of incriminating evidence about people across Karamikios who are involved in this slave trade, and that includes people in Specularum and Threshold, much to the alarm of Ben, Malin and Liz. Our next move is to go through here, and we see a character behind a counter, and he is an old man and he is working mixing potions. And I have to say, compared to the illustration of the Cleric, this one is actually very good. And immediately he sees us. I suppose we'll have to do a reaction roll. And we've got Maridin up front, so he gets a +1 onto that. And that's uncertain. So he pulls out a dagger, runs to the corner of the room, and says, "Who are you? Don't come near me. I'm not as stupid as I look." Alexei says, "We're here for this Mage Aurelian. Do you know where he is?" And that is a poor reaction roll. Negotiate, roll again. The man says, "What do you want with Aurelian and what do you want with me? Don't harm me." Alexei then says, "We're not here to harm you. We're here to get the Eye of Traldar. Do you know anything about it?" And that is a really bad reaction roll. Now that is an attack. Now this man is not going to attack. He's got a dagger. He might make an attack roll, but it's pretty obvious he's feeble. Let's see if he does do anything to Alexei. No, he misses completely, and he gets disarmed. And his immediate response is, "Don't kill me, I'm not one of them." So we ask, "Who are you?" And he introduces himself as Nikolai, and he is a mage in the service of the Iron Throne against his will, and he is here to mix potions, and he makes a bargain with us that he will help us in return for letting him escape here. We're more than happy to let anybody escape here, especially if it means help. So he offers his services, and we're back up to 10 people. He is a 2nd level mage. He knows a couple of spells, but he also has access to some potions, which he gives us. He gives us 2 potions of healing and 2 potions of speed, which are extremely good. They allow you to do double attacks every round. Now Ben is going to guzzle one of the potions of healing. His health is currently at 5, and he's meant to be one of our frontline fighters. 1d6 + 1. Oh good. Right, that's an extra 6 points. He's up to 11. I consider that the safety buffer where you can't get one-shotted with a 1d8 + 1. You know. Right. So we then ask him, "Where is the Mage Aurelian?" And this old man says, "I don't know. Maybe he's upstairs. Ask Millennius." We don't know who Millennius is. And the mage says, "Oh, didn't you see him run up the stairs past you? He fled with all that fighting that went on downstairs. I'm guessing that was you lot." And yeah, it was us lot. We've dispatched that cleric. And this Nicholas says, "Oh good. Who else is upstairs?" And he warns us that the lieutenant... No, I don't know how to pronounce this without it sounding funny. Anilus? Anilus. Lieutenant Anilus. Oh boy, no wonder he turned bitter. He must have got a hell of a bullying in school. Okay, so we have to go upstairs, and we're prepared to take on these 2 other guys. We're going to assume that this Millennius character was whoever the clerk or whoever was the administrator for the slave trading paperwork. Right, let's all pile up the stairs to the next floor. And here we are. We've got Alexei, we've got Ben, we've got Maridin, we've got Thalius, we've got Tybor, we've got Donald who's blind, we've got Malin in the back. This is becoming quite... Some people are still on the stairs. And this mage, Nicholas, points to this door here and says, "Through there. Go on." And so we're going to barge in. We're not surprised if we see anybody. We don't see the mage, but we see a guy in armour looking mean, and we see a Weasley guy in leather armour, and they're having an argument. And this is Captain Anilus. And this is Millennius. He's a level 3 fighter. He's a level 3 thief. Right. And they aren't really surprised to see us. This fight is inevitable. It's a bit absurd that you can have combat on one floor and nobody on the floor above can hear it. So they know everything. Let's roll for initiative. And we get initiative. Now that's good news, because these are level 3 fighters. We're going to take Ben on him, Maradin, who has a good dex, is going to go on bows. Alexei and Thaddeus is going to go on this thief. And Big Tybor is going to come in here. And we'll have Liz and Sylvia see if they can support with any missile fire. Donard is blind. Oh, by the way, I forgot to say, we've also looted the Cleric. Prior to that, we had looted his desk and chest. He was holding a pretty nifty looking mace. That might be worth something. So let's roll for round 1. So we got initiative. Right, let's do missile. Maradin misses. Sylvia is going to try and go for this one here. And she hits. Nice. And does 3 damage. He's down from 12 to 9. Liz, well, the most she could move is really there. She's going to have a go on this thief. Thief on thief. Right, 15 plus 1 short range is 16. I'm going to try and use this Thaco system. She hits armor class 3. He has armor class 3. She does top damage. His HP is from 10 to 4 with 1 shot. That must have gone through some vital part. And already, just with missiles, we're onto a good one here. Right. Ben. Hits. Does 2 plus 3 damage is 5. He's down to 4. Tybor misses. Grah. Tybor hits a 1. Alexei. 15 plus 2 is 17. No, sorry, 15. You don't add the pluses onto Thaco, you just lower the Thaco. And his Thaco was 17. So 17 minus 15 is 2. He hits. This thief is just dead. He crumples. Stabbed with an arrow. Slashed through the head. Thaddeus can move that far. Right. Round 2. It's mutual. We'll do the enemies first. And he's on Ben. Now this guy hits hard. When he can hit. Our turn. Alright. Ben. 17. Thaco of 16. Getting used to it. 17 minus 16 is 1. Armor class 1. Yep, this guy had armor class 2. He's dead. That fight went pretty damn quick. I'm glad. Now we're going to loot this place. We're going to find treasure. And we're going to find a note. And the note tells us that Aurelian, the mage that we're after with the Eye of Traldar, was evacuated from the central keep here. This is where we are. Because of the potential, a threat, because of the prisoners escaping and signs that something was wrong, Aurelian has been taken to the northern gatehouse. And that is where we're going to go next time. I'm not going to do it this session. What I will do here is I will tally up the loot and do a review of that at the beginning of next time. And hopefully our next session we will close out the Eye of Traldar, make it all the way back to Lune somehow, give it back to its rightful owner, and then wonder what we're going to do with ourselves next. Now that's a lot of hopes, and I hope they all come true. Okay then. See you next time.